You know, I just kind of like wandering around my town a little bit, taking a look at the things that I built over time. Yeah, so you got good old boat. Lighthouse is something I'm actually decently proud of. Over there still needs to have less torch spam, but other than that, yeah. You know, I'm pretty happy with this world, but can't quite put my finger on it. Something seems different, in a way. Huh. Like, I don't remember putting Link up inside of this tower here. And, I don't know. Something about Ross is just, different. And, I don't remember spawners looking like that. Nor pigs. Something is very wrong about this world. I'm sure of it. Oh, okay, the fire's normal, so, yeah, we're good. Anyways, hi, hello, I'm the Impending Moon, and welcome to Minecraft Alpha 1.2.2, also known as nothing, it's just 1.2.2. But this is the update that adds texture pack support to the game. I mean, you already could mod the game before this to add it, but this is a lot easier than doing any jar modding. And sadly, our tutorial level is gone. But in its place, we've got texture packs. And I've gone to the Minecraft forums and picked out 3 texture packs from around this version that still somehow have working download links. So what I just showed off was the Painterly pack, which has been around for pretty much as long as texture packs have been around, and it's still updated today. Although I did have to use the Wayback Machine to get a pack that worked with this specific version. Other than that, this one still has its Mediafire download still up, and I forget what this one is. So if I go ahead and just swap to this, it's pretty quick, actually. Mostly because there aren't that many textures to swap in. And, yeah. Each texture pack is, unique in its own right. Yeah, personally, most of them, especially around this time, I probably would not use, because I don't think it's nearly as charming as Minecraft's original textures. But if I swap to Emperor's textures here, we can see that I clicked on the wrong world. Okay. But if we swap to Emperor's textures here, we can see yet another pack, and I'm inside a block. This one is probably my favorite, although this version is actually incomplete, as shown by some icons just not being updated yet. And I mean, this is my favorite mostly because I kind of like the cobblestone texture. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of other things, though. So for this episode, I'm probably going to stick with a Painterly pack, and then promptly ignore texture packs for, well, I guess the rest of the series, because I just kind of like Minecraft's original textures. But texture packs are only so interesting, so let's get into some of the things I'm actually going to be doing this episode. And the first thing is showing off one of Etho's old designs, and that is for a wood duplicator. So we use the cactus and water trick to put down 4 cacti right here in this orientation. Got a little build surrounding it. But what you do for this is you make a bunch of boats, and then all you do is plop them down. And since it gets hit by the 4 cacti at the same tick, it drops 4 times its items, which means it's actually profitable to do this. So I can sit here, break a bunch of boats, and make a profit on wood. So I'm not going to be sitting here duplicating boats in episode, because boy would that be boring. I already did this between episodes, and that's going to be very, very important for what I'll be doing in the next probably dozen or so episodes. But first, I gotta head back over here. And you know, although texture packs can be cool and all, one downside that I'm finding is that it makes it really hard to just at a glance read what's in a chest. And I guess that's mostly because I'm just not used to the textures, but also Minecraft textures are pretty distinctive and pop out. Well, whatever. I don't need to deal with this for more than an episode. But I am going to do something that I have said many times not to do. That is run around with a flint and steel in alpha. Now you may be asking yourself, Moon, why do you need a flint and steel? And to that I say, I'm gonna burn a forest down. More specifically, the forest that's over here and is also really dark right now because it's alpha and also texture packs are dark and whatever. I'm gonna burn this forest down. Now, in order to do all this, I'm gonna wait until day, and seriously, the creeper faces are on the moon now. So, that's a thing. Alright, then as it turns to day here, I guess I'll go ahead and detail exactly why I'm burning a forest down. And if you missed the title, I'm going to be working on a mega base. Mega by alpha standards, let me just preface this. So it's not going to be like thousands of blocks across like modern mega bases, but it is going to take absolutely ages to make here. So, as you may know, I've got the castle here, and I haven't really used it since I moved the vault out of it. Mostly because it's just not very useful. I don't have anything to do with it. So, instead of actually finding use for this, I'm going to make the problem infinitely worse, and just build an even bigger castle with nothing to do in it, and then probably fill it up with stuff. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. Right now, I mostly wanted an excuse to burn the forest down. But now that it's daytime, more or less, I actually need to do some work before I burn this forest down. Otherwise, I am going to completely ruin this world. So what I was going to do before this zombie kind of rudely interrupted is that I'm going to go and break some of these leaves to make a containment zone around this forest so that the fire doesn't spread to literally everything. So all I need to do for this is just to make sure that there are no flammable blocks in burning distance of this forest up here. And I made sure that the surrounding area doesn't have any. There's only 2 places that I need to start breaking some leaves down. And let's see here. This should be enough space to keep any fire that would be on this block here, which would be the lowest that would reach around to this area, from jumping over to this tree here. So I am going to call that good, and we'll see pretty quickly if not making a backup before starting this episode was a mistake. And then the second place here is just up this hill, and there's a thin bit of trees that's relatively easy to make a break in. Shut up, cow. And that should stop the fire from spreading all the way over there, across there, and probably crashing the world. Alright, and that should be a safe buffer cut out of these trees. So, unless something goes horrifically wrong, we should be fine to just start burning this part down here. So, if I head back over to my castle... And you know, I almost completely forgot about this path. And, oh boy, it's just as bad as I remember it. At least I got some decent views out the side, I guess. Alright, now that I'm here, I can go ahead and do some small demonstrations. So, let me head over to this tree over here, and this tree, and we will very quickly see why you shouldn't play with fire. And yep, one bit of fire engulfs these entire trees. And you know, I actually kind of like it. You know, it's really annoying in Minecraft, but it is more realistic and dangerous. Makes you really think twice before doing anything with fire. And then, of course, we have some of the same issues that we have with our burning tower over there, in the fact that, some blocks just don't go away. So there will be some pretty dangerous cleanup here. But, I can deal with that later. And before things start to spawn in that forest, let's see, can I get up? Maybe, probably, hopefully? Yes, okay. I'm gonna head over there, somehow, and get some of this burning. Alright, so if I just pile up here for a little bit, I should be good to just, start one teensy little fire, and then I've got a nice vantage point to just watch it spread across this entire forest. And I'm gonna let you just see it. Because, yeah. It's a very interesting sight if you haven't seen infinite fire before. And it also kind of tanks your frame rate. And you know, I kind of wish I did this a little bit earlier, because you can see that there's only so many lighting updates that the game can handle at once. So while stuff is burning like this, you'll just see chunks in the distance not update their lighting for a little while. And it's kind of interesting. Yeah, and this just sort of keeps going until the entire forest has been consumed by fire, and then it's only however many blocks that didn't get burned that I need to do cleanup on. And I mean, I'm still at 60 FPS, but I can definitely feel the stutter that's going on with this. And, yeah, I think that should be all of the forest burnt down so far. And I'm not seeing fire spreading anywhere that it shouldn't be, which means that my buffers worked properly. And I'm still probably gonna wait until day until I deal with any of this stuff, because I'd rather not be ambushed by monsters while surrounded by fire. It's not my idea of a good time. So I'm just gonna relax up here and enjoy the view. Alright, now that the creeper moon is gone and the sun is back up, let's go ahead and take a look at the wreckage. Alright, I'm doing my best not to walk into fire. And yeah, it's pretty cleaned up. Alright, so before nighttime falls again, I gotta tear this stuff down and torch spam it all. I mean, I could do pumpkin spam, but whatever, I don't care enough right now. This just needs to not spawn monsters and kill me when it turns night. Alright, so just under 4 stacks of torches probably won't be enough, but I'm gonna use them all anyway. Ah, creeper. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Goodbye, creeper. Another one! Get out of here. Ugh. Alright, so 3 stacks of torches later, I'd say this is pretty well lit up. I even got up here a little bit, just so that I'm not ambushed from above. But I think most monsters that are gonna fall from there are just gonna die of fall damage, so I'm not too worried. Yeah, especially considering I'll be, like, over here for now. So I should be fine, but there's almost certainly holes in my lighting. But I can deal with that later. Anyways, now comes the fun part, which is cleaning all of this stuff up and preferably not dying. At least I don't have to deal with leaves. And you know, being up here, I am seeing an issue that's probably going to arise. And that's the fact that, I'm at cloud level, and clouds are really annoying to deal with. So anything I build here is going to be constantly invaded by clouds. But I could always just go with fast graphics and kind of undo that. I'll probably go with this for now, and I'll see if there's any options for dealing with clouds later on. Now, I mean, if nothing else, I can always just make a texture pack that removes the clouds. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And I've got a feeling I might need to make another axe. Ooh. Ow. What? Oh, got burned by that. Okay. Nope. Need new axe. And of course, now that this isn't as forested, all of the animals decided to be right here. I can never escape them. Alright. After a literal hour of chopping down trees and stuff, I have a fully bald mountain. Well, if you don't count all the torches that are on it, but, I don't know. No more trees, at least. And, of course, there's holes in my lighting. Well, anyway, aside from that, I would say that this is good enough for me to start laying out what I'm actually going to be doing. Now, I have nowhere near the amount of materials that it's going to take to actually build the entire thing right now. Not to mention the countless hours it's going to take to build. But I can at least get an outline of what I want to do taken care of. Alright, to start off, I'm thinking about what I want to do for the entrance here. And I'm thinking I want to take out this balcony and instead have a bridge over there. Because the entire castle is going to be on this hill that I deforested. So I'm thinking I'm going to have probably like a tower here, maybe built off of this mountain, although that doesn't quite line up with this, but I can probably make it work. So, you've got the old castle here, you'd walk through here, across a bridge and tower, and then you'd get the gates into the main castle area, and then whatever builds that I'm gonna throw inside of it. So, that's my rough plan so far. So, that means I need to tear all this down. Why? Don't put this in the video. I just want to make a noise. Alright, so this bridge is going to probably look a little better. But for now, it's good enough. And I can go and quickly design the building around it. So it's only going to be circular, yada yada yada, whatever, it's just a tower. Okay. Now, for the main walls, I think the hardest part is probably going to be dealing with the variations in terrain height. But that's something that I'm going to have to work out in designs. But for the outline, it shouldn't matter too much. It'll just probably be a little annoying. Yeah, so we're going to have main gate here. I'll do some designing with that. Get out of my face, sheep. Thank you. So, I'm thinking here, I'm gonna do probably a 3 thick wall, so I've got the outer detail layer and the middle core, so that I can do stuff with stairs and the like. Yep, then I'm thinking the towers, let's see, we can go 5, 2, 1, 2, okay. Yeah, I tried describing it, but I realized it was total nonsense to anybody who didn't have my exact building style. And this is too big. Okay. So instead of that, let's see, does this work a little better? It needs to be pushed back. So let's see. Over here is probably the farthest out that I'd want to go. Maybe like here. Then yeah, I actually could probably go 5 if I wanted to. Let me see how big it is. Alright, so with like 1/2 of the curve here, I can tell this is going to be really big, and I don't want it to be. So, it gets to be smaller. Alright, so with the circle done, let's go ahead and take a look at how it actually looks. Yeah, that works. I was worried with the 2 blocks here, instead of just going diagonally, that it wouldn't look too circular, but that actually looks pretty good. So, now that I got that design down, it's pretty much just copying and pasting it wherever I want it. So, I guess it's just time to start... Ooh, that's actually an issue. This tower needs to go diagonally, actually. So, could I go like this here? And would that work? Not really. I'd need to go probably 1 more out so that I can keep the core, but that... Huh. This is what I get for trying to wing this a little bit. Whatever, I'll figure it out. You know, if I was smart, I would have followed the curve of the land, but I wasn't. So now I get to head back and try to eyeball some stuff from different heights. Ow, okay. You know what, Sneaking? I'd appreciate it if you worked a bit more. Anyways, where am I? Well, at least I've got infinite pork. So I'm kind of conflicted on where I want to take this wall. Because I've got the tower over here, and I kind of want to come this way. But if I bring it up here, I don't have enough height to really build another tower or anything. Not to mention the height difference is going to be an issue trying to connect up to here. So, I don't really know what I want to do. What I could do is take and, I kind of don't want to do more diagonals, because those are going to be a pain to build. But if I could go and, like, place, like, 3 smaller towers over here, kind of box that in, I think that would work pretty well. Yeah, so if I go like this, so we've only got 1 diagonal bit and 3, and I should be able to bring stuff, like, over here. Is this actually lined up? Yes, okay. And then I could put another tower, like, right about here, and another one over here. Then probably build a big old retaining wall on that. And then that should cover most of this. And then I can just build whatever tower is over there, yada yada yada. Everything should be a bit more straightforward now that I got this figured out. You know what? Now that I'm looking at this a bit further, I think I could just incorporate this cliff into the wall a little bit. Because I'm actually cutting out a decent amount, and I don't think it'll look very good if I do this. So let me pull this out and try something new. Okay, so I got it figured out. So we've got the tower on this side, that brings it over here. We'll build this wall into the mountain, and then there's a tower corner here. Then that'll go this way, until we hit over there, and the other tower should be easier to set up. Alright, and that should be the outline pretty much done here. So, it's not as big as it could be, but it's probably as big as I can reasonably get it right now. Because if you look at it, it's gonna take a good amount of blocks here. Yeah, I guess I'll hop into MC Edit and just get an overview of how this actually looks. Alright, and then this here is the overview of the castle. I think it looks pretty good. So you got your main entrance over here. I'm going to do a gateway or something. I might change this, depending on what I do, but for now, I don't really know. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 towers, although this one is a bit small. I don't know, I might change it to just be a diagonal. It depends on what I'm feeling at the time. And then I was also thinking of maybe turning this into an entrance, just so that I've got access to, like, the forest or whatever if I want to do anything. This doesn't really work as an entrance, obviously. This might if I really wanted to, but I don't think I'll do it. There's a lot of stuff that still needs to go into it, but having the outline is a pretty good first step. But whatever, let's get back into the game. And now's the part where I should probably go and lay out, like, buildings and paths and all that. But I'll be honest, I have no idea what I'm gonna put in here, really. Yeah, so I know I'm gonna put in, like, my own house. I'm probably gonna put in, like, a throne room and maybe an access area to, like, the vault and all that. Probably put in a dungeon, because what castle doesn't have a dungeon? But other than that, I don't know how I'm going to fill the space. So I guess if you've got any ideas or suggestions for it, leave it in the comments. I read them all. And, yeah, this is going to take absolutely ages. And probably more cobblestone than I've got in storage. But yeah, I guess that's all I've really got done with this episode. But in between episodes here, I'm going to be working on some designs, gathering up a ton of resources, hopefully enough to at least get some of the stuff done. And I'll try and brainstorm some new ideas for what buildings to put in here. But for now, that's all I got. Before I do my sign-off, let me actually, go ahead and disable that, because honestly, I'm kind of sick of it. Now it's kind of jarring to be back to the normal textures, but whatever. But anyways, I hope you've enjoyed. I've been the Impending Moon, and good night.